Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Felicity Yarn Studio Podcast. My name is Zoe, and today, as you can see, we have a very special guest.
Hey, everybody. Naomi here from the Yarn Curator Podcast.
So if this is your first time here, you may not know Naomi and I are sisters. We both have podcasts, but we thought we would do something a little different, change things up a bit. I think Naomi's just here mainly to offer her commentary on my knitting and whatnot for this one.
This is true.
So I'll probably guest feature next month on Naomi's channel, and just to have a little fun with it, change things up a bit.
Yeah, we thought it would be a good way to mix things up without feeling as redundant, having to post on each other's, like the same video twice.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye out for that on both of our channels. And without going through too much, I'll just say that you can find all of our social medias and show notes down below in the description box. And yeah, I'll pop them on the screen as well. Yeah, so I think we'll just go ahead and dive right in. And I only have one finished object to share.
Woo woo!
Yeah, I know. I haven't been doing much knitting lately. So I knit for our little nephew. I knit one of the Scrappy Smarled hats.
That's super cute. I really like the colors you have together in that.
Yeah, so this is a pattern by Neiland, and I have like strands of what I used. So the main one was this color from Madeline Tosh. This is all I have left, and it was a little partial leftover from a previous project. This is the colorway Canvas Tint, I believe. It's a really nice like gray silver with a kind of beigey tonal. I would like a garment in a colorway like that.
I mean, you know I like oatmeal-y creams, so sold.
Yeah. And then all the way through, I also held one of my other scraps. This is one of my hand-dyed colors. This is the Sunrise colorway, I believe. I don't know. I have a lot of these like peachy colors. I know. So then like through the first like 2/3, I held enough. You really can't tell from this what it looks like. This was from the Advent calendar from 2018 that I dyed up. It was one of those colors kind of in the middle of the fade. And then I finished off with another Advent color at the top there.
I could probably find that color in my craft room right now, but at the same time, it would be like going into the room of requirement. I'm on a Harry Potter kick today.
Yes. So yeah, so this was really quick. I knit like most of it in one night, and I got to the crown decreases and it was like midnight and Jason was ready to go to bed. So yeah, I kind of want an adult size version for myself.
Yeah, super cute.
Yeah, I knit the smallest size, but I think this might be good for come winter time because I think it's more, I don't know.
Well, it'll be super warm in the winter because it'll double.
So yeah, I don't want to give too much away because it is a paid for pattern, but I really enjoyed the stitch patterning on it. It's not as complicated as it looks. I'll just say that. So yeah, that's it for finished objects for me. Like I said, my knitting mojo has been a little on the slow side here lately. I've been kind of drawn towards other things. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I get it. I mean, mine is like, I'm just bored with everything I'm making.
I'm bored with my projects, and I'm simultaneously bored with my stash, but also, like, I don't want to get rid of any of my stash. I'm bringing anything new.
I know this struggle.
So
I feel like a month ago, I wanted to cast on all the things, and now it's like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, I think that's why I've been drawn more towards dyeing recently and beading. I know it sounds awful. Beading, dyeing, and a little bit of spinning has been doing it for me lately. So, but anyway, I have been doing some knitting, and I'll do this one first. I did, right after I finished recording the last podcast, I separated and I'm on the body for my Trescao.
You are a brave woman wearing that color.
I think it'll look nice. Don't lie. Whatever. I like it.
Oh, I know. It's just bolder than I would ever go for.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be wearing, like, this is definitely the statement piece of the outfit.
You think? Sorry. I'm not talking trash. I just,
it looks way more, like, electric on screen than it is in person, I think. I know you don't believe me.
I've seen your mellow yellow. It's not as highlightery as... Yeah. I really like that pattern, though.
I enjoy this pattern. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, for a free garment pattern, it's really well written. It goes super fast.
Yeah.
The fit's really nice.
So yeah, I was where that rainbow heart stitch marker is on the last podcast, and I separated for the sleeves and started the body. And I did mention on the last episode that I used the wrong needle size for the body, so I tried it on and it actually fits fine as is. So I know it'll grow slightly once I block it, and I didn't alternate anything while I was doing the raglans, but once I separated for the sleeves, I've started doing the helical alternating, and I mean,
it looks pretty even anyways.
I was gonna say, I don't even know that I needed to do that, but I knew that if I didn't, it would probably stand out. So yeah, actually in person you can see a little bit of kind of tonalness to this, but it really doesn't come across.
It's lost in the highlighter.
Like blows the camera out.
Is it closer to my yellow?
It's still neon, but it's kind of green tinged. But anyway, yeah. So the other thing we had talked about with this is I actually am preferring knitting this on my wooden looking needles instead of the Chaogus. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I had become a bit of a Chaogu convert, but then I went back to Lucas when I ran out of cables, and yeah, I don't know. I tend to like something about the grippiness of the wooden needles.
I was gonna say I'm surprised with that one that the wood is more enjoyable, because I would think the mohair would catch on them, but maybe
it slides pretty easily, but I don't know. There's something about like the warmth in my hands, and my only complaint on these needles is the tips are not sharp enough. Like, and that's always been my complaint even before I got the Chaogus. So
my knit picks used to be really sharp, and those dulled down for wooden needles, but I remember they stabbed me a few times.
Yeah, these were like pretty rounded as soon as I got them. I doubt you'll even be able to tell, but anyway, that I haven't worked on that in almost 2 weeks. It was like what I worked on exclusively, and then I stopped, and I was just like, meh.
You just need to pick it back up.
Yeah, and I probably will once I take it back downstairs. But the next thing that I did get some decent progress on was my Cirrus socks, and I keep wanting to call them serious socks.
Name them your serious black socks.
Yes. And this is a pattern by Helen Stewart. It is part of the Handmade Sock Society. I believe this is year 3.
I like that gray.
Yeah, this is little gray sheep, although I think when I went to go find them for the show notes last week, I think they might just be Gray Sheep Co. now. That's what their website said. So. But yeah, this is their Steinfine sock base.
I wonder if too many people got mixed up between them and Little Gray Girl like me. Hey.
That's what I was thinking too, yeah.
And want to distinguish themselves some.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really enjoyed this pattern part of the sock. It's got kind of a slip stitch thing going on, and then just a basic eyelet row in between. And this pattern was very forgiving because I did get off on the slip patterning at one point. Like, I didn't do it on the back half of the needle, and I just did it on the next row. So it all worked out. I can't even tell where I got off on these. And I did get past the heel turn and the heel flap, so now I'm on the gusset decreases. So these should be done by the next episode.
Hopefully. I applaud your ability to knit socks.
There's something nice about a small portable project, but at the same time, I have felt my sock mojo waning lately. Like, I did like 2 rows on Jason's socks, so I'm not even gonna pull them out. It's pretty pathetic. Yeah, I don't know. I know I've said this to you before. I think I like socks because not only are they small and enjoyable, but they're usable. So, like, yes, I wear my sweaters and my garments, but I feel like I get more daily use out of my socks, at least in the wintertime. So.
Yeah, I never use mine. I have them. I don't wear them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a sock person in general, though. That family trait skipped over me.
I like them in the wintertime. In the summertime, not so much. I don't really wear a lot of closed-toed shoes in the summertime, but definitely like fall and winter, they come in handy. So I don't know why my voice is cracking. Why don't you share what you're working on while I take a sip here?
So I'm in the middle of a row, so it's going to be a little wonky showing it, but this is my baby blanket for little Nico, and I'm using the sediment pattern. Ooh, I can't remember the designer, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and we can talk about Ravelry in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But it's a really basic corner-to-corner blanket, and I am using two strands of black elephant held double, and I knit the first 2 balls till I couldn't increase anymore, and now I'm just decreasing the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how many did you have?
4.
Oh, I thought you only had 2 for some reason.
So, yeah, no, I had a colossal amount of this buttercream colored yarn.
That was part of when Black Mountain did one of their Take It All sales. So if you bought everything in the same colorway, you got it all for 50% off. So
yeah, and originally I thought I was going to make a sweater out of this, and then I just don't think this is my color.
Yeah, it's a little
yellow.
Banal. It's a little, yeah, I mean, it's pretty, but I don't know that it's garment color necessarily.
No, and like, I've been thinking about this because I don't really own any yellow in my regular wardrobe. I just feel like it's one of those colors I can't wear.
I do, but it's more like, I have one top and it's more like, it's that Big Bird shirt. It's like jewel toned yellow though, not like pastel-y yellow, I guess.
No, it's a saturated yellow.
It's much warmer, yeah. So.
But the only reason I haven't finished this yet is because before, my Swift troubles. Mm-hmm. Well, I finally bought a new one, but I caked this before it came in the mail, and so like I'm doing a center pull ball, but it's just yarn barfed everywhere. And so, like, I have to pull a giant knot out and detangle it, and then I can knit a section. And then, so it's on my ish list right now.
I don't blame you there. Yeah, I'm glad you got a swift upgrade.
So, next is a ball winder.
Yeah.
A better ball winder.
My ball winder is okay that I have right now, and whenever that one breaks, yeah, I'm just going to invest in a better one.
What?
Go ahead. Oh, I had the one from Knit Picks for years and years and years, and I really liked it, but it broke, and then somebody gifted me a new one, so I just asked for one, and I didn't specify, so that's probably my fault.
Well, mine's one of the ones from Hobby Lobby, and it's the kind that, like, doesn't tilt on, like, the tilt axis. It's, like, the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it winds like this as opposed to like this. And
no good.
Yeah, and then, so I'm just going to save. I've decided I'm going to splurge on one of the electric ones from Fiber Artist Supply Co.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for my next one, too, because might as well.
Hey, I know I'm invested in the craft. I might as well upgrade the tools.
I will say I definitely find that investing in but quality tools makes a difference. Same can be said for the needles and your yarn and just about anything involved in this craft. So, I only have one more whip that I've been kind of actively working on. Oh, and here you go. This is my little Battenberg baby blanket that I've started, this is the top corner, I've decided. So I've joined, 20 something squares here, but I have about 80 squares made total. And I know I sent you a picture over the weekend, and I was like, I'm going to join all these squares over the weekend.
Did you join two?
Oh, I don't think I joined any after I sent you that picture, but I did crochet like 8 more squares.
Yeah,
and then I was going to say, this is the main color that I held through. It's kind of got orange and neon yellow and purple in there. But anyway, so this is half of the squares. I have a whole nother stack. Each of these and everything that's been joined, I have a double of in a bag somewhere. So I have been crocheting. I have about 80 squares made, and I think I decided I'm going to do 360 total. So I'm about a quarter of the way done with this.
You're getting there.
Yeah, so
your baby blanket is definitely more involved than what I committed to making.
Yeah, and that's going to be like a 45 by 50 inch blanket, so it'll be something that can get use for many years, theoretically. And yeah, I do think I'm going to try to get it done before Christmas. So
it'll be a Christmas present then if you do that.
Yeah. So that is that for my actual knitting. Let me pull my notes up here. Okay, spinning. So I did finish my John Arbon spin, one of them. Only it's still wet, so I haven't skeined it up yet. I finished it pulled it off the bobbin last night. And I washed it, and it hung outside all night, but it still hasn't dried. So this is the Beautiful Ones.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I really like how from far away it just kind of looks like a beigey neutral, but when you get up close you can see the pinks and yellows and purples in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got, I didn't put this in my notes. I think I got about 360 yards.
It's pretty good. So it's about a sport weight.
Yeah, it's close to a sport weight. It definitely doesn't look like a fingering. It looks close to a sport weight. I didn't do the wraps per inch because I always forget to do that.
I do too.
So
I'm lazy with it. Well, and the other thing is, like, when I wrap, like, usually if I wrap towards, like, the end of one end of the skein, it's a lot thinner than what's in the middle because I really thin down towards the end of a spin.
I could see that.
So
I think I'm the opposite. I think I'm more thin at the beginning because I'm like, I'm going to take my time and be all patient and have a really thin spin. And then towards the end, I'm like, I'm just ready to be done with this. So
I always tell myself, like, when I'm pulling it off onto my nitty knotty, like halfway through, I'm going to wrap it. But I count my wraps as I'm putting it on the nitty knotty because I can't be bothered to put it on and then count after. And so
that's accurate.
What do you mean?
I don't blame you. So yeah, there's another shot.
Yeah,
I might put a picture on the screen once this dries on.
It almost reminds me of like a pearl.
I could see that. So this is Falkland Corriedale fiber, I think. I don't know.
I think it's merino. It might be Corriedale.
Yeah, I think it's Corriedale.
It's whatever the Yarnadelic blend of fibers are.
Yeah. So I felt like I spun my singles really good, at least on the first bobbin. The second bobbin, I guess, was questionable because I had a couple of breaks when I was plying them together. And then for the most part, I did okay on plying, but again, it kind of broke in 2 or 3 spots, which if it's just for me, that's fine. But I still don't feel like I'm up to gifting standards for any of my hand spun. And then I have all the other ones that I've spun so far kind of loosely with the Dathan sweater in mind. So.
Oh, that's pretty.
So yeah, it calls for 15 colors. And again, I don't need a full 4 ounces of 15 colors.
No, but I like the John Arbon in that it lends a neutral to it that it needs in that palette.
So I'm thinking that like peachy kind of skin tone palette. That you gifted me. I think what I'll do with those, because there's 4 or 5 colors in that, and they're all kind of shades of peach. Also, I'll just do those.
In between those would be nice.
Yeah, so that should give me 10 colors, and then I've got some other smaller amounts of fibers and like little extras here and there that I'll probably round that out with. So I do kind of want to start swatching with them just to, because I haven't knit anything with my hand spun yet. So
join the club.
You haven't knit anything with yours ever?
No, I have. I have knit a few things with my hand spun, but not a lot.
I think
you've knit more of my hand spun than I've knit my hand spun.
I used some of yours in my jig shawl. I used 2 different ones in that. Have I knit any others of yours? I know Mom made a hat out of yours.
Yeah, I know some of it went in your Smarled magic. Your shawl.
I don't know if that has any hand spun in it.
I think it
does.
The
one I just finished?
No, the one you finished like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think that has any hand spun in it, but I could be wrong.
I have knit a shawl and like mittens. The last thing, I think the reason I haven't done anything with my hand spun in a while is the last thing I made was a cowl. But the yarn was it had way too much twist in it. So when I knit it, it was like this mangled, gnarled looking thing, and then it got felted in the washing machine, and
you need to stop throwing your knits in the laundry pile.
I need to not have my husband do that as his chore, but
or that. Although beggars can't be choosers with husbands and chores.
He does the laundry and I do the dishes, so that's how we split it up. He also does most of the cooking, so
fair enough. I do have a skein of one of your hand spuns that I do want to make socks out of eventually. And so, yeah, I have grand plans for also doing a sock spin at some point.
Yeah, I'm mid sweater spin right now, so
I guess I am already doing that, but
yeah,
there's a couple other garments out there that I would like to spin, either a contrast color for some color work or maybe the whole thing.
Like, I really want to use this as a contrast color. It's hand spun, but it's like blues and greens and purples, and I haven't figured out what a good contrast color would be for it.
I would go like cream or light gray, but I know those colors tend to bleed, so that might be some risk there. But
yeah, so this is my John Arbon, just because it's right here.
Ooh.
So
yeah, I really like that colorway.
Yeah, it's really pretty, but this is the indigo dust. It's the same Yarnadelic line, and so this is 200 grams spun.
Good.
And I need to apply it. I'm going to apply it later today, and then that's going to be the main color in a yet-to-be-revealed sweater.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking, so I've got a braid on the way for some socks, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to spin something in between that.
You just need to get some more bobbins.
I do, and I have to buy a fourth bobbin if I'm going to do a 3-ply for socks. So I'm looking at some of the 3D printed ones.
The acre works are good.
Yeah, and there's a couple other ones on Etsy, so I just need to bite the bullet. And I have no problem spending like $40, $50 on yarn, but for a bobbin, I'm like, why are you so expensive? I know, and I was just talking about spending money on quality tools, so I still haven't bought a proper Lazy Kate either.
Well, I mean, I can't talk. My Lazy Kate was gifted to me by someone, so... But, I mean, you could make... It's not tensioned or anything, but you could make something like this pretty
I mean,
easy.
That's essentially what I'm using in a more dumbed down version, yeah.
And then, like... So I have 7 bobbins, but I bought mine on Ravelry D-Stash.
Yeah.
So, and I think I got 3 for like $75. So
pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they go fast when people list them, but if you have your eye out, you can usually catch them.
I hardly ever go into the forums. So that's my problem there, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get to the full Ravelry discussion in a minute. The only other things I had on my agenda was I have been dyeing a lot lately, so I have a lot coming into the shop this week. Oh, and I have one other kind of side thing.
Venture.
Another dream project to talk about. But I'll go ahead and cover the shop stuff now. So I have 2 new colorways here. Well, let me backtrack. These 2 have been in the shop. This is Sugar and Spice, and it's like pinks and reds kind of speckled on there. And then Stardust is another one that I've had around for a while with the purples and aqua. So I've been dreaming about a fade with these 2 for a while. And then so I did this purple and blue
I like that one.
Yeah, I really like that. And then same kind of purples and blues, but with some added like greens and yellows in there. So I think that would make a really pretty fade. So I'll have these on sock, and I'll have a couple minis of each of these colorways also coming in the shop this week.
Yeah, if you wanted to do a cowl or something, that's
or some fade Scrappy socks. So yeah, I've got those coming, and then I've got, I asked y'all on Instagram what I should name this colorway, and this, I think the name Pixie Dust is what I decided on. This isn't the prettiest schemed up one, but it's a nice, like, semi-neon-y peachy color with some lavender. I think this is a really pretty color. And each of the batches that I've done of this have come out a little bit different, so I may list them by batch, just in case somebody wants, like, more than one or two of them.
Yeah.
And I'll have mini skeins also of that. And then the last two things, so when I dye, I rinse my utensils for speckling and some jars of water, and then at the end of the dye session I have my little jars of rinse water on the counter. So I usually throw a couple extra skeins in the pot, and these are the two kind of rinse waters that I came up with this week.
I love that lavender.
I do too, and like I said, I've dyed Stardust so much now that I think I'm going to try to replicate this kind of lavender pinky color.
You did that on your tweed base, didn't you?
Yeah, these are on tweed, so it's white tweed specks.
They look good with the tweed.
So then this is the rinse water from that last colorway with the blues and greens. So there'll be two of each, and I might make them into sock sets. I've got some extra minis lying around. Like, I think that would make a really pretty sock set. And maybe a really girly sock set. Yeah, so there might be a couple other things popping up in the shop with those. And then, lastly, I have advent calendars in the shop now.
Heyo!
Naomi knows nothing about this. There was not lots of texting about what the theme should be and
what it should be inspired by.
Yes.
And
so I know it's my yarn company. And
I am a consultant.
Yes. And you get paid in yarn.
I know.
So, yeah, so if you're interested, my yarn is Felicity Yarn Studio on Etsy, and the advent calendars for this year the official name is Capturing Color and Light, and it is inspired by Impressionist paintings. So I know that we both like those kind of color palettes of kind of soft. There's a lot of soft pastels, but also kind of neutrally tones. But then there's also vibrant pops of color. Based off of my little art history research that I was doing, a lot of the painters were using, first they were using synthetic paints colors, which really capture kind of the vibrancy of, sorry, I got a notification there.
You're good. I'm dealing with barf.
Sorry.
She's gone, ladies and gentlemen. She's gone.
Sorry. What was I saying? Oh, so they were using synthetic paints for the first time to highlight natural colors. So that's where I think the speckling will be really nice to kind of play with. But there are some really vibrant paintings as well as the more kind of subtle.
Sorry, there's a bush outside this bedroom window, and I'm pretty sure I just watched a butterfly fly into a spider web.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor butterfly. Well, I saw something fly by my window a minute ago, and I'm not sure if it was a bird or something, but.
Sorry. Anyways, yes, I think too that style of artwork lends itself well to translating to yarn and dyeing and all of that stuff.
I would agree with that. So, so the kits will be 24 mini skeins and 1 full-size skein for Christmas Day.
Oh, and do you want to tell people the nice upgrade to your calendars this year?
So they will all be on MCM-based merino cashmere nylon because apparently yarn is hard to come by right now. So that's what I was left with ordering, but they're the same price as last year. Y'all just get a nice little upgrade there. I'm going to include at least 1 beaded stitch marker, probably a few other things in there as well as far as Christmas goodies go. Say hi, Dee.
Hey, ding dong.
Don't show your butthole.
You've grown a tail, Zoe.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, advent calendars. This has been really professional promotion. But yeah, they are available. I only do a small number of them because they are a lot of work. And when they're sold out, they're sold out. If they don't, I ship them the first week in November. If there's any left over, I just leave them listed in the shop until they're sold out. So I think last year I had like 3 or 4 left until November, but in November people really want their advents. So yeah. And if you're interested in one and you need a little time to kind of save up, I'm not really comfortable doing the kind of payments plans that I know some other dyers do, but if you're interested in one, I don't mind holding one back for a couple, maybe a month or 2. I've held a few back right now just to give everybody a fair shot. Yeah. So.
Excuse me. Ugh.
Edit.
Water.
Yeah. So, yeah.
My super professional water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the last thing I had kind of in my pile of stuff over here that I forgot to mention in my little dream knitting, I want to make baby Nico a sweater. I did talk to Peter and got approval that they may put him in a sweater.
For those of you who don't know, our brother, like 6 years ago, claimed if they had a child, it would not wear handmade things.
Yes. So,
but
I was like,
there's what, 8 of us who knit?
Yeah.
Good
so
luck.
I was like, I'm not wasting the time making a sweater if you're not going to put this on the baby. So I want to make the jelly rolls little. I'm probably messing that up, but it's the pattern by Orange Knits, Mark Catherine Briner, and it calls for a main color for the body. So I'm going to use this Spun Right Round and Tomato Soup. And then I picked out this mini.
Oh, that's cute. I like that color combination.
Yeah, from Hedgehog, and it's called Glacier. And then I need another mini for the color work on the yoke. So, do I have it? I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on what the third color should be. Like, the simplistic in me is kind of like just go with a natural undyed or like something with speckles.
Or a black.
Or like I have kind of like this blue.
That's pretty.
Kind of Florida Gators.
Even though he's allegedly a Knowles fan.
Yes.
He doesn't know it yet.
So, I don't know. So, yeah, I'm just kind of waiting to decide on the third color for this before
I think I like the blue better than white with that.
I do too. And I also have kind of a more like tealy green. Hang on. It's right here. I think you have this many also that we got at SAF last year. Ooh, actually, I kind of like this. I have to hold it out together.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And it's boy without being like boy. But I think I only bought one of these, and this was supposed to go on my Battenberg. But again, with the being selfish, I don't know. I think I can always try to dye something up like this.
I was going to reach in and grab some of my minis, but that would disrupt this whole situation, and I'm not messing with that right now.
It's fine. So, yeah. So, I kind of like this combo. That might be happening soon. I don't have them up here with me, but I did bead weave some more rainbow hearts. I made some black ones and some gray ones. Maybe I'll pop a picture on the screen. I haven't listed them yet. I just need to get pictures taken as well. Anyway, I think that's everything I have yarny to talk about. Do we want to
jump into hot topics?
Yes. So I'm sure most of y'all have been on Ravelry and seen the redesign. Thoughts?
I have mixed feelings towards it.
I do too.
I think the makeover was needed. And at first I was like, oh, that's really nice. I do really like that kind of salmon color they picked for the new logo. Mm-hmm. I mean, you and I are just a fan of that color anyways, but so might be a little biased there. But I do think to me, they should have given more forewarning. Number one, that it was coming. I know they posted like an Instagram post like a couple days beforehand, like something big surprise coming Wednesday or something like that. But I mean, change is hard enough for people, and then to have the change cause seizures.
Yeah. My thought was, I wish they had kind of gradually rolled out some of these changes. And granted, I'm not familiar with the back end of web design or anything. I don't know how easy that would have been. But yes, I agree that the redesign was needed. And I like the little graphics that they commissioned. Mm-hmm. I think those are cute. But as far as a stylistic standpoint goes, I think it really clashes with the
platform,
the color scheme and the drop shadow things like that. I know they're kind of going for a retro look, but it just doesn't work for me.
Also, for those of you who don't know, your background's in graphic design.
Yes. So well, and when I did graphic design, it was kind of not pre-internet days, but like it focused mainly on print and print media. We did some like Flash and a little bit of web design, but not a lot. So I always thought that my strengths in graphic design were from more of an editorial standpoint. Like I'm not great at coming up with designs from scratch, and I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn here or anything, but
toot your horn.
Yeah,
it's a skill you put time into developing. So just from a design standpoint, it doesn't work for me as far as like just aesthetics go. Now, as far as the usability and the accessibility issues, I'm really disappointed on how Ravelry is handling all of that. I think all they need to do is say, look, we messed up and we're working to fix it. Whereas every time they've posted about it, it just feels like they're tooting their own horns. And they're making it worse with the statements they've come out with, as opposed to just owning that it was a flop.
Yes. And a few things that I've kind of read online in a few different places. First, I think they need to hire an accessibility person who specializes in that. I think they have never really faced a major criticism, like everything's been glowing about Ravelry for the last, 15 years or so.
Yes.
And criticism is hard to deal with. Failure is hard to deal with. But again, a little bit of humility moving forward would do a lot for them right now. And thirdly, speculation-wise, there's been a few places I've seen where people are speculating, are they getting ready to sell the company? Is that what part of this whole redesign is? I don't really think so, because it's never been part of their brand, or it's never. I don't think there's much credence to that, but it wouldn't surprise me maybe if silent investors were being brought in or something. And at the same time, I know there's been a lot of pressure for them to redesign over the last few years.
I don't see that happening just because, I don't know. To me, they seem so invested in it that it's hard to imagine that core team of people who have been involved for 10 years now with that website. I mean, granted, profit or money is a motivating factor. Yeah. So who am I to talk? I think my butterfly's out, maybe. Yeah. But anyways, my issues with Ravelry lie more. So my job uses databases a lot. So I'm pretty comfortable looking at a clunky, not very intuitive database to sift through information and pictures and all of that good stuff. Right. But for me, it could be more user-friendly, and it shouldn't take having used their platform. When did you learn to knit, Zoe? When was that? Back 2006, 2007?
Approximately, yeah. I remember looking at videos on YouTube, and that started in 2005. So, 05, 06.
So, yeah, I mean, you and I were pretty early adopters, and I feel like the only reason I know how to navigate it as deeply as I do is because I've been using it 15 years. And not because it's like when you go in and use it, you're like, oh, my stash is linked to this pattern that I'm looking at, and I can look at all the things that match this,
It's not super intuitive, and that's always been one of the critiques. I don't want to say criticism, but I wish they would. I don't know. I know that they take a lot of pride in doing all the coding, and it's built from the bottom up, and I appreciate that. I really do. Yes. I know it's a lot of work, and I'm sure they've sunk a lot of money into this redesign as well.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's a little disappointing. I think a lot of us we feel a lot of, I don't know, we all hold Ravelry as kind of a special place in our hearts and on the internet as knitters and, fiber people. So, yeah, I'm still hoping they will do the right thing sooner rather than later. Because, again, I haven't even talked about, I mainly browse Ravelry on my phone. Mm-hmm. And with the redesign, I didn't have a ton of trouble on my phone. But as soon as I pulled it up on my laptop, I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Granted, I didn't have migraines or seizures or anything like that, but
it causes intense eye strain for me.
It does.
If I look at it on the computer.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that I got a active headache from it, but I could feel tension in my head. And trying to look at one thing, your eye is constantly being drawn to another part of the screen. And then I was looking at it on the laptop, and I had my phone in the other hand, and it's so bright and stark that when I looked from my tablet to my phone, it looked like my phone had switched to the nighttime warm screen, which I knew it hadn't because it was still 6 o'clock in the evening. And I was like, yeah, it's way too bright if it's making my eyes play tricks on me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, I'll hold out some hope, but
I think ultimately they'll do the right thing and fix it. I'm just worried. I'm not worried because everyone's free to choose, but I have a feeling they'll probably lose a lot of users in the interim. Which is unfortunate after everyone came to their defense during the whole Making Things app fiasco last summer.
And ironically, I feel like that's sort of what spurred them into changing and updating and trying to make things a little more
trendy.
Modern. Yeah. So we shall see. But I'm not going to lie either. I know there's talk also of another website starting up. And if it does, I'll probably just be a member of both. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having another site out there on the market. That's sort of the beauty of capitalism, I guess, if you really want to say that. I know that's a dirty word right now too, but anyway, I don't know. I don't really have any more else to say. I don't want to sit here and bash on them too much.
It's just mainly to say that they could do better.
Yes.
And I think we all expect better from them.
Yes. And yes. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't know, you got anything else to chat about? What you've been reading, watching, cooking?
We bought a wok yesterday.
Ooh.
So
we need a proper wok, yeah.
Yeah, so we got that, and then we were going to use it on our grill, but the grill doesn't get hot enough for it. So we took our little, propane camping stove, and we've just been cooking on that. But, I mean, it's been really good. John made some, Korean barbecue stir fry last night. It was really good. But
I made steaks last night. Y'all, don't ever critique your husband's steak cooking skills. Let me just leave that little bit of marital advice out there. Look, I found filet mignons at the store, which they never had them. So I was like, I'm buying these as a little treat for ourselves. Yeah, so I was like, I'm cooking these. Let me handle my fillets here. And they turned out really good. But anyway.
But yeah, I mean, for reading and watching, I have been going back through a historical monograph it's by Howard Zinn. It's People's History of the United States. So it's a good social history. Just trying to, I try and alternate between fiction and nonfiction. So
nonfiction is a little hard for me to get into, but I don't know. I listened to like 4 audiobooks in the last month, and 3 out of 4 of them, actually maybe it's more like 5, but at least 3 of them dealt with like emotional trauma and abusive parents and dealing with all the fallout. And I was just like, at the end of all of those, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go into some escapism, like
lighthearted rom-com.
Yeah, something a little, which I liked. I liked all of the books that I listened to, but I don't know. I'll leave them all down in the discussion or the description box if any.
I forget when it was, but a few years ago, I was really into like World War II historical fiction, but I read like 4 depressing books back to back to back, and I was like, okay, I need a break.
Yeah. That's my problem with some of the World War II stuff, which I can appreciate it, but it's also like it gets a little heavy after a while.
Yeah.
Did you ever read The Book Thief?
No.
Have you read that? Well, if you're in the mood for a depressing World War II, it's not really depressing so much as like a gut-wrenching book.
Hits you with the feels.
I like a good gut-wrenching book, I'm not gonna lie, but like that was one that the last like however long I was like ugly crying on the couch by myself. And it's World War II, so you sort of know what's coming as far as certain things go. But anyway, yeah, so I just started the first Outlander over again because
why not?
It's my go-to. I can like put it on and I don't have to be in the room every second. So
yeah. I was trying to get my coworker into Outlander, the new coworker. I've gotten another one previously, so I'm trying to convert a second one.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
And then on TV, we started watching. It's kind of cringy sometimes when you watch it, but it's the guy James May from Top Gear, and he goes to Japan. Oh. And so it's called, like, I don't know, James May Takes on Japan or something like that. Right. It's on Prime, but it's pretty funny, but at the same time, it's also kind of like, ooh, can you still get away with that today?
Probably not.
But he travels from North Japan all the way down to the south of the country and explores, like, different regional things and so foods and whatnot. So, I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah. We haven't been watching too much because Jason plays Fallout almost every night, which I'm, like, sick of Fallout.
Hey, John plays Metal Gear Solid 5 for an hour or so every night. I get it.
An hour or so? It's not like 4 hours every night. Like, partly I'm okay because he gets on and, like, some of our friends are on, and so I get to kind of communicate with them still because he just leaves the Kinect on. But at the same time, it's like I can't keep hearing these same, like, daily missions and, like, fake gun noises over
analysis
and over.
Complete.
Yeah, or whatever. There's little, like, robots that say the same 3 phrases over and over. So, I don't know. Other than that, we usually just put on some kind of stand-up comedy in the background whenever we're done with that. So, I guess that's about it.
Yeah. This is probably long enough as it is.
Yeah, we're close to an hour, so that's not too bad.
No.
We could sit here and jibber jabber all day, I'm sure.
Oh, God. We won't do that to people.
Yes.
I did almost grab half a pint of, like, Haagen-Dazs to, like, sit and eat while we chatted, and I was like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess you'll have another episode here shortly.
Probably next weekend.
Yeah.
So what is it? It's just before July 4th weekend now. Yeah. So, yeah. Next weekend.
And then I'll probably get another one up before we do another joint.
Oh, yeah.
Video because we're probably going to go out of town at the end of the month, so that'll work out for me where I won't have to worry about doing a whole podcast.
Being present.
Yes. So, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks everybody for joining. If you like the video, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to both of our channels. So, yeah, we'll see you guys again soon.
Bye.